Good afternoon, friends. Here I am by the bookcase on a sunny September afternoon, wishing you a lovely Labor Day weekend. Of course, by the time you see this, it'll probably be long past Labor Day, but the thought was there. I'd like to continue Word of Gord's talk on initiation. This will be part 3, and it will focus mainly on the monad, the higher self, that group soul to which all individual souls will one day return, except it won't be a day when you get there. It'll be another part of your ongoing eternity. Now, this is the sort of teaching that was handed down through mystery schools very quietly, if not silently, underground for centuries, only surfacing with the recurrence of theosophy in the late 19th century. And the teachings have accumulated since then. Traditionally, it is called the monad, and where it lives, or the vibrational level in which it exists, is sometimes called the monadic plane. It's a sphere of consciousness that I have discovered to be vibrationally slightly lower than the God consciousness. So while it's not completely omniscient or omnipresent, it's darn close. And it's certainly omniscient as far as life on this planet goes. Now, that certainly begs the question, what about life before and after this planet? Well, that does and will exist. We have evolved on other planetary systems before coming here, and the story behind that is as long and involved as the story of our continued incarnations here. And as that is my focus, we'll just go with a passing mention of the before and the after. But be assured, it is there, it was there. We arrived here partly formed and decided to participate in this human experiment, this human planetary Earth experiment. Now, the monad, the higher self, is your source in the eternal worlds. It lies beyond all the purgatories, all the paradises, all the heavens, even beyond the formless planes that are beyond the heavens. It can be anything, it can take any form whatsoever, including, as some wags have suggested, a UFO. I haven't experienced the monad that I belong to as a UFO, but others have put forward this notion, and I'm not about to deny it. It is definitely a shapeshifter of considerable abilities. Doesn't need to be in any form unless you, approaching it, have a great desire for it to be in a form that you can feel comfortable with. And often that form, not always by a long shot, often that form is a sort of golden globe in the sea of golden white light that has sometimes been referred to as the radiant void, and sometimes the sea of emptiness, and other names in different traditions. In the higher self, although there is no in or out as we understand it, but for the sake of the talk, we'll say in the higher self. There are many other souls who have completed their incarnation and are there, alive, vibrant, living, full of life, full of humor, full of consciousness. And not only are they there, they're like a, how shall I say, holographic file in a multidimensional being that you can contact if you wish to traverse to the higher self, either through out-of-body travel or in meditation. It winds up being much the same thing. When you're meditating, you project a small portion of your mental body through the spheres, through the planes of existence, and if you don't get too flipped out, you will arrive at the monad, at the higher self. Now, when you get there, you will be welcomed, as in, welcome back. It is your greater self. It is you magnified 1,000 times in intelligence, wisdom, and beauty, if you like. And it knows almost everything there is to know about life on this planet. Your past incarnations, your future incarnations, the significance of many, if not all, historical processes and events, the function of society, religion, politics, education, evolution. It really depends on your level of receptivity and your ability to process its energetic version of thinking, shall we say. When I first contacted it, it felt like standing in a shower, a hot shower, where every droplet of water was a scintillating idea. It was a little overwhelming. And it can be that way for many souls, many people who have contacted. But don't be put off. Try and try again. You will receive a sense of harmony and comfort eventually. You will cease to be overwhelmed. And in this consciousness, for as few minutes or seconds as you can stand the intensity, or the lack of former identity, because you will lose your former identity temporarily. You will be a greater self rather than a lesser self. You will come very close to omniscience and omnipresence. It will be limited only by your brain capacity. Now, this blending, this merging with higher self, is a further initiation beyond the scope of the two I spoke of in the last two talks. It is exhilarating in the extreme, and you'd best be wary of limiting it so you don't exhilarate yourself out of all existence. And it does reveal many marvelous things to the seeker. And it does take you beyond all religion, all heaven, all paradise, all hell, all reward, all punishment, to a state of radiant blissfulness where nothing ultimately matters other than the cosmic game of experiencing and digesting that experience.